Hi guys, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be covering up mistakes in a way. So what I mean by covering up mistakes, you can see I've had bleed through from the Ohuhu markers, and it has ruined a pencil sketch that I had done of a cup of coffee. So if you remember in my previous videos, I've said that it can be rectified by covering the page in gouache. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got my ice cube tray of gouache even, and we're going to cover the page. You can choose any colour you like. And I've got the, this is my palette that I will mix. I will probably do some white, but it doesn't particularly matter. And this is the Schmincke Akademie that I'm getting out of my ice cube tray. So it will just go all over it. Just add a little water to get the consistency better. And what I like about gouache is that it dries matte, and that is smooth and opaque looking, kind of powdered in a way. But you might have to do 2 coats, but we won't know until it has dried. You don't want to put it on too thick at first because you don't want cracking. And I'm going to be using my heat gun when I've covered this, just to speed up the process of drying. And gouache doesn't actually take that long to dry, but when I'm on camera, I do need every second to count. So I'm just going directly into the ice cube tray just to do that little bit. Put that to one side. Just get the heat gun. And you can see I was going in every now and then just to check it wasn't getting too hot. There's a little bit there that's still wet, but that's okay. It's not too wet. And we're just going to go starting again doing the second coat. But you can see it's already made a difference, hasn't it? You want to get it as smooth as possible because you're going to be drawing on this again. Just, it's a nice way of being able to use the page without having it ruined by the alcohol markers. We just go back in with the heat gun. I'm trying to not have the ribbon burnt or this band melting, so you must check it's not getting too hot and constantly move the heat gun in circles. This is a crafter's heat gun. It's called a heat buddy. So it's not a full-fledged heat gun, but can get very dangerous. Some areas can take longer to dry, but you just keep moving your heat gun in circular motions around to keep the heat flowing. Basically, you want equal coverage. Check what that's like, because sometimes when you have to take the heat away, let it cool down a little, the paper, and then you can go in and check. Yeah, and that is bone dry, so that's good. So just a little bit here will just do for the graphite. You could maybe, depending on what you're going to do, if you're going to use acrylic, you could use gouache. Not gouache, we're using gouache now. You could use gesso instead of gouache, but I'm going to be using gouache, so I'm using the white gouache, if that makes sense. You can see everything is covered now. We'll just clean the brush. Do not leave your brushes in water, ever. Take them out and let them lie flat on the paper until you can clean them. We'll just go back in with the heat gun. Circular motions, because you do not want one area to get all the heat, because it will burn. So you just keep it moving. You can go like I'm doing, kind of shake, 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 or in circular motions. And put your hand in every now and then to make sure that one area isn't getting too hot. And I would say that that is it. So, now we get to paint, or draw. And I'm not sure if I was going to be painting with acrylic. I'm not sure if I was going to be painting with the gouache. Get my words right eventually. But it means I have a surface. So I've got my water-soluble pen here. And I'm actually feeling more like wanting to use this, and it is black. And again, I've got a video on my channel if I remember, I'll link it to this video about me unpacking this particular pen. So, we're going to do a kind of the mug again, but not in colour, be black and white. And we'll see if this works, what I have in mind. Just doing like the lip of the cup here, and then kind of getting in for the liquid. And then I'm going to be going in with a damp paintbrush, and I'm hoping I'm going to be getting the watercolor effect, because in this pen it is liquid ink and it's black ink. And I love these kind of pens, I really do. I'm hoping you can hear my birds singing in the background. They're not my birds, I don't keep birds. They're wild, free birds outside in our garden, and they're really singing. We just go in with a damp paintbrush now. And it's working, guys. Oh, this is good, I'm pleased. I had not practiced off camera, so we're all learning together. And I have to say, putting the gouache down has made it better for doing this kind of technique, because the lines are breaking up better from the pen. I'm not getting so much of the marks like here. They're not being left behind as they were on an unprimed surface. And we just do it here. Of course, if you want the lines, just don't drag the paintbrush over as much. Just kind of stroke it. Just add in some shadow here. And it will blend more now that we've got the gouache on, so that's really pleasing. Must remember that. And there we are. We're going to go into a time lapse now. Oh!